not losing weight on WW, I might know the reason why. Stick around. We're getting into it right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Manya and I've lost 30 pounds on the WW Purple Plan. The truth of the matter is that all of the plans on WW are designed to help you lose weight at the same rate. They're just based on your individual lifestyle choices. So what does that mean? Well, that means that some people are on the go and on the run and they want to be able to pop into a fast food restaurant and pick up a meal. And so they need more points throughout their day for that kind of food. And then there are other people who eat at home most of the time who maybe want to cook from scratch, and there's a plan for them as well. So I'll put on the screen the chart that I like to share with people. I cannot take credit for this chart. I will put a link below as to where to find it. And I will also put a link to my Purple Plan Basics episode that covers the difference between green, blue, and purple plans. So today is not purple plan specific, because if you've plateaued or you're struggling to lose weight, all of these tips are going to apply to you no matter what. So the number one thing I want to say about losing weight on WW is it is most likely, unless you are a unicorn, that you're not going to lose at a standard rate, meaning despite you wanting to lose a pound a week, you probably will not actually lose a pound a week. Remember that your body doesn't know what a week is, and that there will be times that you will plateau and there will be times that you gain. I have a video all about realistic weight loss on WW where I open up my app and I show you my weight loss over time. So I'll link to that below. But what I want to talk to you about today is tips for if you are in a prolonged plateau or you've started gaining and you can't figure out why. So I have 5 tips. I'm going to start with number 5. Tip number 5 is that you are eyeballing your portions and not weighing and measuring. This happens to people who have been on the program for a long time. It's definitely something that gets away from me, right? So you take a tablespoon of something. It's really easy to round that tablespoon up or to eyeball, oh, that's about a tablespoon. I've measured this peanut butter 555 times. I don't need to measure it anymore. That is very, very dangerous, especially when it comes to foods that are delicious. We can convince ourselves that eyeballing works. So if you are not using your food scale, or if you don't have one, you need to get one. If you're not using your tablespoon, teaspoon, etc., you need to go back to weighing and measuring. I can almost guarantee you that eyeballing, you are overestimating, and a point here, a point there, 3 points here, 2 points there, that definitely adds up over time. Tip number 4 is you are overestimating the impact of exercise. Now, if you've been around my channel for a while, you know that I do not eat fit points. I have a Purple Plan Basics episode about why I don't eat fit points. I don't think that exercise leads to weight loss unless you are someone like Michael Phelps, right? Unless you are a marathoner, unless you are training and you are burning 10,000 calories a day, eating your fit points can be very detrimental to weight loss. Especially since I, for example, on a day I'm not exercising and I'm just walking around my house, going downstairs to the kitchen, going downstairs to use the restroom, I can take 8,000 steps just living my daily life, and that'll give me approximately 3 fit points. So I could have 3 points worth of peanut butter for doing absolutely nothing, for not exercising in a way that brought up my heart rate, for not sweating, for not exerting myself, just for something, doing things that I would have done before I joined WW. Also, as a Peloton bike owner, I can tell you that if I enter Soul Cycle as an exercise or I enter stationary bike as an exercise, I get very different point values. So I don't trust the fit point thing. If you need them to motivate you to exercise, I think that's a different story. But for many of us, you're just putting more calories in your mouth. The next tip is you've been listening to people on social media and you're not tracking things anymore that you probably should be tracking. I will give you a couple of examples of food that I hear about people not tracking anymore that could be contributing to a slowdown of weight loss or weight gain. Things such as avocados, coffee creamer, cooking oil. Think about how calorically dense these foods are. So calorically dense is I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, so bear with me, but my understanding is that it is how many calories in density a particular food has. So the caloric density, for example, of an avocado is much higher than a cup of broccoli. So a cup of avocado has a lot more calories, obviously a lot more fat than a cup of broccoli. Now the argument is, well, avocado is a good healthy fat. Olive oil is a good healthy fat. You need creamer because you need dairy for your bones. Like, you can make whatever argument you want, but quite often health goals and weight loss goals are not always compatible in a way that we wish they were. So if you're not going to weigh your avocado and you're going to eat a whole avocado a day and not count it, you are far exceeding the number of points that you would have if you had eaten a reasonable amount of avocado and stayed within your daily points. So if you're not going to count things, then that's a choice you're making, but understand that it may have an impact on your weight loss. And then the final tip is to look deep inside yourself and ask yourself if you are really working the program as WW intended you to work at. I want to talk specifically about cheating. So if you've been around long enough, you know that I don't really like the term cheating because I don't view WW as a diet in the sense that I'm going to hit a certain point and then I'm going to go back to eating the way that I ate before. I know from experience that if I were to do that, I would gain the weight back. So I'm trying to see this as a lifestyle change, which means it needs to be reasonable for me. Sometimes I take a weekend off. Sometimes I go to a restaurant and I don't track. I need to do those things to maintain my sanity and for it to be a long-term type of thing. But I see a lot of talk about cheat days, cheat weekends, cheat meals, and I think what you need to do is to look carefully at what that actually means. So take the week off, take the weekend off, you do you, but understand that you may not actually be working the program the way that it was intended. And that you may be eating a lot more than you realize. And my advice would be to figure out how to work all of that in to your weekly points if you are seeing a weight gain or a slowdown on your loss. A couple other things that I don't think are in the spirit of WW, that would be calorie counting on top of counting points. I don't understand overcomplicating WW. There's a reason that I love it, and it's because points are so much easier to track than calories. If you want to track calories, that's cool, but I don't think you're doing WW, and I worry that people get lost in the idea that they are either under eating or overeating because they're tracking calories. And then things that, again, you do you, but if you're going to do intermittent fasting and then you're not going to eat all your points and you're going to mess with the system, don't be surprised if it has an impact on your weight loss. It may make it faster. It may make it slower. My best advice for new people is to work the program as it's written for at least the first month or so, and don't try to tinker with it. Because if you're tinkering with it, you're not doing WW. But if you've been doing it for a long time and you're hitting a plateau, sometimes it's just a plateau, sometimes it means potentially you're getting away from what you used to do, right? You're not weighing, you're not measuring, you're not tracking, you're overestimating your fit points, you're doing all these things. You took what was kind of a narrow circle at the beginning where you were successful, and slowly, because these things take time and you get bored of it and you get tired of it and you hate being restricted, you start to widen that circle. Girl, I have been there. I'm actually there right now. You widen it, right? I don't need to keep track anymore. I know what I'm doing. All of that's fine. Just don't be surprised if you see it reflected in the scale. So I want to know from you, did I miss something? Are there other reasons that folks might not be losing weight on WW? Give this video a like and subscribe, and I love seeing you here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.